Alright, today here at Fixed, we're going to be working on an iPhone 7 screen. Customer came in, they had broken their phone obviously up here in the corner, and they wanted to get it fixed. So today we're going to show you how to replace the glass on that. And to get started, now that I've taken it off, I just want to make sure it's still good after removing it. So I'm going to grab my tester here. This allows me to test it without having to wait for it to boot up. I just have to plug it in and it'll turn on. And I'm just going to go through it and just look at the different colors, make sure there's no dead pixels, light spots, anything that's going to make it harder for me to fix it, and it looks really good. So I don't want, as I take the glass off, I don't want all these shards to go everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of tape, just regular packing tape, and I am just going to cover up to the best of my abilities all of the cracks. And there's only a couple on this side, nothing that I have to worry about. They'll all stay together. So I think that's all I'm going to do there. Alright, next is right here up at the top. I need to remove this bezel here on the side with the bracket, and this one as well. And to help me do that, I'm going to cut the plastic here, there, each one of the corners. I'm going to do that with this hot blade right here. I'm going to get down carefully, slice right through there. I'm going to go over onto the other side. Same thing. Right there. Flip it around. Right there. And then on the last corner. That should do it. Alright. So next, grab my heat plate. We're going to set this on there. Just set it right over the center section holes. Turn those on. This is going to heat up. Hold on. Sorry, I had a little interruption there. Alright. So we'll go ahead and we're going to just heat this up for a little bit. And then in a minute here, I'm going to be able to kind of pull on these side pieces right here. And give it a few, about 20 seconds or so. Alright, let's see if it's ready yet. Yeah, this side is. I'll pull that off. A little bit of debris in the way up here. I'm just gonna clean that off real fast. Alright. Next step is I'm going to take this wire here. It's pretty thin stuff. It's like 0.08 millimeters. I'm going to take it up to the top, slide it in. I'm going to do a sawing motion here, and I'll slowly work my way under the screen. cut back and forth. When we get to the end, we'll slow down a little bit. Go back up to the top. Alright. Set that aside real quick. So as you can see, the glass came off all in one piece, because we taped it. So I'll just go ahead and throw that away. Get this out of the way. Alright. So now we have the display without the glass, but as you can see, it doesn't look that pretty. This extra, all the adhesive that was there between the glass and the display, at least what's remaining of it, still on there, and we're going to want to clean that off. So what I'm going to do, I'm just getting the majority of the clumps on top of this. Right here, the polarizer. We'll grab another machine. Make sure that's good. And right up here in the top corner, I'm going to start to use this hot razor blade, and I'm going to cut what's called the polarizer. And if I go in nice and slowly, we'll see if it'll let me. There we go. I'm going to slide across all the way to the other side and then back just a little bit. And then I'll pull this back, line it up here. On the end, and then very carefully I'm going to line the blade up in between the polarizer that we just lifted in the screen. I'll set it down and I'll start to roll this forward. I find this very satisfying. We're going to cut that off. And here towards the end we'll lift up. Set that aside, and then here I'm going to take the polarizer. I'm just going to peel it off nice and carefully. Last little bit. Alright. So as you can see, now we are left with just a little bit of extra adhesive, but it's a thin layer. It's really tough stuff to get off, but I do have a special adhesive remover that will help us to get that off. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Alright. Just gonna get one of my microfiber cloths. I'm gonna lay it over the top here. I'm gonna get another one. I'm just going to cut it so it's a little smaller. I'm going to cover up this last little section here. Alright, and then take a little bit of my adhesive remover, and I'm going to use my little pipette here and just put some dots on there. spreading it out equally. A little of this stuff goes a long way, so I really don't need to go too crazy with it. But I just want to make sure it's all covered. Alright, that's good. Okay, so I'm just going to take my finger and now I'm just going to dab on the top, just making sure it's got a good nice seal around all the edges. The cloth will help absorb any excess liquid and allow it not to run into the backlight, which would be a bummer, and I'd have to solder on a new backlight, and I don't like to have to do that. It just means that the customer has to wait a little bit longer and that I make a little bit less on the repair. Either situation I'd rather avoid. Alright, we're going to wait another 15-20 seconds on that. Charger cable. All right. I think we're good. Let's check. Yeah, it's starting to grab it. Yeah, we'll go for it. All right, so I'm just going to take the cloth here and I'm going to rub around in little circles. I'm going to try to remove all of that adhesive with the cloth. And I want to be careful not to touch the ribbon cable with the adhesive remover, as it could potentially hurt the display. And then I'd have to replace the entire display as well for the customer. And I will do that if I ruin it, but I'd rather not. Okay. We are getting there. On the power strip, the big black one. Okay. Oops. Sticky. I can fit through. Okay. Almost there. It's really good enough. Okay. So I'm going to take another cloth. I'm going to come at it with some acetone here. And we're going to rub out the rest here. Get a nice and clean. And then up at the top, I'm gonna make sure I get that top border nice and clean as well. Grab a I had the cable reached. Sorry guys. Alright, my phone died there for a second, so now I'm back. Okay, now that we've got this nice and clean, what we'll do is we're gonna connect it again to our tester, and we're gonna make sure everything still looks good. Alright, go ahead and turn this on. You guys probably see a white screen. That is actually the screen with a square in it. And why you can't see it is because of the polarizer not being there. Hold on one second. Let me... check something out. Alright, so sorry about that. We're going to test the screen out. As you can see, it looks like it's just white, and that's because there's no polarizer on there. It's actually, I don't know if you can tell, but what there is actually color. So if I put this polarizer lens over, you can actually see what's on there. So if I pull it all the way up there, see the color's all right there. Let's turn it more so you can see. But anyway, so I'm just gonna test it out, and I use these glasses that I made to see what it really looks like, to make sure there's no issues. It all looks really good. There's no issues with the backlight or anything like that. We'll go ahead and turn that off. I'm going to now just clean up the edges a little bit. Hold on. And then I'm gonna get my amazing blue aluminum mold there. And what this will allow me to do is line up the screen, the display with the new glass perfectly. So I'm gonna put that in there, line it up. Nice and centered. And I'm going to come back again with a cloth. And we're going to clean it up. Get that out of the way. Make sure there's no dust, no little debris, no smudges, no smears. Because what will happen is if I put on the new glass and I have any of those issues on there, they're going to stay there. They're not going to go away. They're going to persist to annoy and bug. So right here, what I have is a new glass, and what it comes with is the polarizer that we removed with that machine, the adhesive that was on the polarizer, and the frame that we cut off. So it's all of those in one. I do these each individually, you know, if I need to. I do remove them separately, but for this it's just much quicker for myself and for the customer if I do this all at once. So I'm just going to double check that it is perfectly clean. There's a little bit of dust right here. All right, and then there's a protective film on here that I'm going to pull off. And I'm going to lay this over. We'll set that down. And then on the bottom, what I'm going to do, I'll tap here and create a little spot there. You can see the black where it's starting to grow. And then what we'll do, and I'll move you guys over with me. I'm going to take this over here to this mold here. Line that up. I'm going to open this. I'll stick this here in this laminator. And this right here, it serves two methods. We'll go ahead and turn this on, and I'll tell you about it as we run it. So right here, you've got a vacuum pump. It's the first time I'm running it today, so it's kind of waking up right now. There it goes. Okay. And that is going to pull a negative pressure. And right here, you can see I'm trying to get up to this negative 88. We're almost there. As soon as that happens, as soon as it reaches that negative 88, it's going to push down this this plate using pressure that comes from this compressor. But inside here you've got that negative pressure, and then you also have this where it says, you know, don't put your hand there. It'll also say hot. This is really hot. This is a heat plate. It's set right now at 54 degrees Celsius. We are almost there. I'm just going to speed up the process by adjusting this down, and you'll be able to see as I do that, it drops and it's pushing on it. We will now wait for another 30 seconds or so until it hits 40 seconds. And you can see in there, it is. The pressure is being applied. Alright, about 15 seconds to go. And then we'll check and see if it's sealed all the way or if we're going to have any bubbles in between the glass and the display. And if so, we will. I'll show you what we'll do to take care of those, to get rid of those. Alright, so we'll go ahead and turn this off. And pop it out. And let's take a look. Alright, so those bubbles are actually just a protector. So let's go ahead and take that off. See, there's one bubble there in the corner. And it looks like we're good everywhere else. Go ahead and set that back down. Now to get rid of those, we're going to move over here. See our autoclave. Currently it's at 54 or 45.2 degrees Celsius. We'll stick our screen in there. And we'll shut that. And I'm going to go ahead and hit start. We've got this set to 5 minutes. And so in about 5 minutes time, we'll come back and we'll check and see if that bubble is gone. And then we'll test it out, make sure everything works, and we'll be done. And then this can go back on the customer's phone. Alright, so we've just finished decompressorizing. Go ahead and take it out. And we're going to check and see if that bubble is gone. And it looks like it's gone. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and test this out real quick. Make sure we're all good to go. Alright, looks good. Okay. Okay, ready to go. Awesome, we're done.